first time I got in trouble. I ran away from my house at like, I don't know, maybe 6 years old, and I ended up just hiding in our yard in a bush. So they called the fire department and they called my dad home from work. He came home, he was extremely mad, and I could hear the yelling in the house from the bush that I was in. So I stayed in there a really long time. I was there until nighttime, and they didn't find me until finally my nana found me. So she beat the daylights out of me, and I couldn't sit down at supper for probably 2 days. And so I was already ready to go. I was already ready to leave my house. Maybe 6 years old. My name is Daniel Darko Marciano. I was born and raised in Southeast San Diego. I have an older brother, an older sister, and a younger sister. At an early age, I was one of those kids that didn't feel like they belonged. I always felt a little bit different than other kids, and it was because of my father and the household that I grew up in. He was very abusive. By the time I was 13, the abuse was so bad. I mean, my sister had been removed from the house at one point. So my dad finally went to prison. My mom finally, actually, it was my Nina. It wasn't my mom. My mom didn't turn him in. She would always let him come back. I came home from skateboarding one day, and my brother was like, happened again. Nina called the police. Dad's gone, and I didn't even go in the house. I remember I didn't even get to the yard. I remember things being crazy at the house, and I was like, something's going on. When my brother told me, I just turned around and left. Turned around, skateboarded away. I didn't know where I was going to go, but I didn't want to go home again. The first time I really got drunk was like 13, and I thought, oh, I feel different now. Like I've forgotten all about that. I like the feeling of being drunk, and this is how I want to feel. I want to forget all this stuff. My friend, he'd hurt he broke his leg, and they were giving him Vicodins, and we just started taking them. We were all taking them. We're like, hey, this is pretty great. Like, we don't really have to drink that much. You have like one drink and 4 Vicodins, and you're good. This girl that I'd started dating, she was an ex-heroin addict, and her and I got drunk one night, and I hadn't been drinking a lot, and I'd just been taking a lot of pills, and the hangover was like terrible. I was like, it's a really terrible hangover. And I remember she was like, well, we could just do some heroin, it'll fix the hangover. There's the whole ritual to it. Like, it's all like a process. You buy your heroin, you get your needles, you get your cooker and your cotton, and you cook your heroin, and you do your shot, and you're like, I'm on top of the world. Here I am. I was trying to work. It really wasn't working out. I was like, I hated it. I was like, this is ridiculous. I'm making $8. Like, I don't need $8. I need like $200. I'd stolen a couple grand within the first week. I was like, well, this is all right. I could get used to this, but it's probably not going to last too long. Then I quit, and then she threw me out. That's when I became homeless. So the transition into homeless heroin addict, just street crime, is like it was easy. What you also don't realize at the time is that you become addicted to the rush of stealing, and it's all becomes one big addiction. Through one of our other homeless friends who'd been on the street for like many years, like 20 years plus, turned me on to the liquor hustle, which was much more lucrative. Is we took his hustle and I kind of put like my own spin on it, where I would just go in and take like entire cases. I'm making like $500, $600 a day just reselling liquor. So that's how I made money the entire time I was homeless. That was our hustle. We would just go and sell liquor all day. I had met Hannah through just mutual friends. She was actually from Sweden, so she had went home to try and get clean, and she had ended up back in San Diego. She had somehow gotten a flesh-eating bacteria in her leg. the whole bottom half and top half of her leg had been eaten from the bacteria. She refused to go to the doctor. By the time she ended up going to the doctor, like, it was far too late. The toxins were going to her heart. Like, she was going to die if she did not have her leg removed. Like, the last conversation we had, she said she couldn't do that. She couldn't live. I mean, she was 21. You know, she gave me money and asked if I would go get her a gram of heroin and a gram of coke, and she was just gonna OD in the hospital. I was like, well, I have all this dope. I can go back to the hospital, but I'm not going to. Like, there's just something, like, I couldn't do that. Someone else that she knew went and copped for. The time passes, like, the stuff with my family, like, that had long been past, and then the new stuff with Hana, it's like there was nothing else out there for me anymore. Like, there got to a point when I got back out to the street and I was like, this is over. I got busted in September. It's my sobriety date, 9/28/2005. It's the last day I got arrested, but I ended up going to drug court. Drug court it's a very stringent program. You have to go to court every week. Once a week you appear in court. There's 4 phases. In each phase you're required to go to a certain amount of meetings. Like, the biggest struggles for me were just being a regular person, like, adjusting to society. I had to look for work, and nobody would hire me. I'm a felon with visible tattoos. So when I went to Vaughn's, they were doing open interviews, so I walked in with my resume. And the lady interviewed me, and she was reading my resume, and she's like, you know, today is your lucky day. I'm going to hire you. She's like, I'm going to give you a break. I have a niece that's a heroin addict, and she's been homeless for some time, and, you know, we don't know how to help her, so I feel like helping you in some way is giving back. I was trying to write myself into a character, and I'd actually written a different series of books, of children's books. It was like a musical, interactive type of thing, and just like several other children's books. And one of them, just someone wanted to publish it, and it just happened, like, just like that. As an artist and an author, my goal, I guess, it's become or evolved to being an author/entertainer. When I started my whole outreach, the whole point of the outreach was to show people that people can change.
Way, way up into the sky, with a dream and trusted dog, he knew it wouldn't be long before 1, 2, 3 blast off. Thomas blasts off, he wanted to fly. Way, way up into the sky, with a trash can and some dried fruit, a flashlight, helmet, scuba suit. 1, 2, 3 blast off. 1, 2, 3 blast off. 1, 2, 3 blast off.